Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live, streaming on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV. Proudly brought to you by our headline digital partner, Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. Today, Ipswich Town host Middlesbrough in another huge championship clash. Town have lost just one home league game all season and are unbeaten in their last 15 here. A packed Portman Road awaits, and with the promotion race heating up, Town will be looking to make home advantage count and take all 3 points. Coming up on the show, we've got Danny Haynes and Adam Tanner joining us for analysis, team news and plenty more build-up. Don't forget, Town fans, to send in your thoughts and predictions in the live chat for a chance to be featured on the show. But first, he's an Ipswich lad, he's a world champion, and he wears blue and white on the biggest stage. He is WBO heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley. Yes, the champ is here on Matchday Live. Fabio Wardley back at Portman Road, and he has got an entourage of camera and peoples here. When the heavyweight champion arrives, he arrives in style. How are you doing, Fabio?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. It was a nice little VT there. A nice little throwback there of some of the great night. It was, yeah, something I hadn't seen like that for a while, so yeah, good.
When was the last time you came back to Portman Road to be able to take in a football match?
I'll be honest, much longer than I've wanted. Much longer than I've wanted. Training and building up towards a big fight obviously takes priority, takes precedent, but yeah, had to squeeze this one in.
May 9th, Daniel Dubois, the first title defence of your good self. How's preparation going? We're getting closer to the fight now, so you must be really switched on.
Yeah, look, we're there. We're just under 3 weeks out, almost there. Preparation's gone really well. Almost, I've been saying to the team, I've almost been saying this is going too smooth. Usually there's a hiccup, there's a problem, we're working through something or whatever. But me and the team now, we're a well-oiled machine. Things have been going really well. Camp's firing, sparring's firing. So yeah, look, it's just knuckle down. 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks of hard training to go, and then we're into fight week, and then we're almost there.
Is training for a fight that's a title defence any different to when you were challenging people or no belts were on the line?
No, yes and no, don't get me wrong. There's intensity levels and the amount of training you're doing and whatever else, but the ambition, the intention, everything else behind it is all still the same, because ultimately, especially in boxing, a win or a loss, it's snakes and ladders. It can send you all the way up or it can drop you all the way to the bottom. So every fight is a world title fight. It is a massive one. So yeah, look, it doesn't really change throughout. We just work hard, we get it done, we treat them all the same. We try and let the fact that, oh, it's a world title or it's a big occasion, get in front of you and just stay focused.
We were just watching some clips now of your build-up to the Joseph Parker fight. We just saw you there in the beautiful Ipswich Town gown. You're wearing the colours with pride. What is going through your head when you are making that ring entrance walk.
Yeah, not a lot. No, I'm thinking, don't trip, right? There's a wire there, don't trip over that. Well, no, look, once I hear my music, I take my steps up onto the stage. It's kind of laser focus. So all I'm looking at is the ring, the opponent, and just marching my way down to that ring and just getting the job done, really, just like laser focused on the job at hand, the task. It's funny because people are always asking, oh, did you hear me in the crowd? I was shouting for you. And I'm like, mate, I was so zoned in on that ring, I couldn't see anything else. It was near on silent in there for me.
How grateful were you when the referee went in and stopped that one? Because you did put on a show. Both of you were going at it, punches were being thrown, but just an incredible atmosphere and night.
Yeah, look, it was fantastic for a bunch of reasons, because the fight itself was world championship worthy. It was a great fight. It had its backs and forths, it had its ups and downs, and as much as maybe my face in that VT there doesn't appreciate
the shades went on pretty quickly, didn't they?
As much as my face there probably doesn't appreciate it, I do. It makes it feel earned. It makes it feel worth it. So yeah, look, it was a fantastic night, and then to obviously culminate in the win, and then a few weeks later being awarded the world heavyweight title, just the icing on the cake, really, cherry on top.
No doubt there are going to be lots of Town fans going up to Manchester to go and support yourself as you take on Daniel Dubois. Just what does their support mean to you, especially when you're going away to these different towns and cities?
Yeah, look, huge. It is everything. There's a bunch of them coming as well. I was just in the fan zone, talking to them, taking pictures and whatever, and I was getting stopped saying, yep, I'm coming up there, I've got my tickets, and I'm always so surprised because, look, it's not like Manchester's round the corner either. It's a long way, it's a lot of money, but people are committed and they support, and I couldn't be more appreciative of it. It means the world to me.
You are going into this one as the heavyweight champion of the world in the WBO rankings. When you look at what you've achieved over the last 12 months, can you quite believe the trajectory that it's been on?
Yeah, it was a funny one. I ended kind of 2026, and people said, oh, no, it was a fantastic year, you did all this, you Portman Road and a stadium show and the Joseph Parker fight and you won a world title and all the rest, and then like, is this year going to be bigger? And I was like, I don't really know how, to be honest, guys. I've done a lot there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try, but look, so we're starting off strong. First fight of the year, massive fight, massive occasion. Obviously first defense of my world title as well, so we're starting strong. So I'm going to do my best to try and keep pace with last year, but who knows?
You like to pick them, don't you? Like you said, we had a little chat earlier on pitch side, which will be out on Town TV very soon, but you had the opportunity to take a voluntary fight, but no, you go straight in at the deep end and you go, yeah, no, I'll take on Daniel Dubois, another world elite heavyweight. Yeah,
look, I think that's been proven in my career throughout, really, for a good number of years now, is that I'm here to test myself against the best. I want to pick the best fights out there, the best fighters, and put myself in the best competitions, because not only as a boxer do I want to test myself, but I also want the viewing audience, the fans, the people at home to go, you know what, Fabio's in a scrap tonight, that's going to be decent, that's something to watch. I want them to get value for money when they watch me fight.
Well, you've certainly provided value for money so far in your career. Fabio, we wish you all the best on May the 9th, and you can watch Fabio knock out Daniel Dubois in Manchester, live on DAZN, or there are a few still tickets available if you'd like to go and grab them. Right, now to switch things up, we're going to play a game of Wavelength with Sindra Waller-Egley and Jens Kajustad.
Wow. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Scandinavian connection.
Welcome to Wavelength. Today we're going to see how in sync Jens Kajustad and Sindra Waller-Egley are. Who's most likely to have their own reality show? Who would the cameras want to follow about?
Their own reality show?
Who's going to be value for money for the punters out there watching what goes on? We've got some good characters in the changing room.
We have a lot, to be fair. I think Leaf maybe, or I think Leaf or Nacho, either one. I think it would be interesting to see Nacho, how he lives his life, because I don't think anyone really knows. I'll say Nacho. Yeah. Give it to Nacho.
Okay. And what do you like to do in your spare time? If the cameras were following you around,
I think it would be a very boring TV show, to be honest. Nice. A lot of just gaming, and also call my friends and family, you know.
Okay, Jens, who is most likely to have their own reality show?
You don't really know what this guy does. Like, I would maybe drift towards Leaf, because I know he does like streaming and stuff like that. And that's kind of in that direction, but based on some reactions, I'm gonna change my answer. Interesting person.
To be fair, you did give sort of two answers.
Yeah, I said Leaf / Okay, so
you're on the right lines,
right
but
track. No, not right track. No? They're not the same at all. I don't really know then. I don't have a clue. I might go with I'll go with Nacho.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Well done.
Scandinavian connection.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
You can watch the full episode on Town TV. As you can see, I've now been joined by our guests for the day, Danny Haynes and Adam Tanner. Lads, we just had Fabio Wardley here on Matchday Live. Danny, are you a big boxing fan?
Oh, I love boxing. Didn't realise how actually big he was until
You're telling me I was standing next to him.
He's a unit, but fair play to him. He's done so incredibly well in such a short period of time. And I'm looking forward to that fight against Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, Adam, you're looking forward to the fight on May the 9th as Daniel Dubois takes on Fabio Wardley?
Yeah, 100%. I was fortunate enough to be at the O2 for his last fight against Parker, and it was an unbelievable experience. I think it's fantastic to have him as an ambassador for the club and a figurehead. You know, he's a world-renowned name now, and for him to share his time and his efforts to come and support the lads. You know, I know that a lot of them have got a good relationship with him. It's absolutely brilliant, and I agree with Danny. I didn't realise how big he was, so I certainly wouldn't like a right-hander off him.
Yeah, as Adam says there, Danny, he's a great role model to have associated with the football club. We've got Ed Sheeran in music, and we've also got Fabio now in boxing.
I think it's amazing. I think Ipswich have got some stars, and it's good to show that they're here with the team, behind the team, and they've always been like that, to be fair, to them. But now it's on a world level, you know. But I say it's all good.
And we've got plenty of stars in our starting 11, in our Ipswich Town squad. Adam, just how important is today's games? We're going to go into it a little bit more detail later on, but the atmosphere is going to be building. It's going to be a fantastic afternoon of football.
It certainly will be. I mean, every game now, between now and the end of the season, is like a cup final. You know, disappointing result and performance on the other night against Portsmouth. But, you know, today, again, a few changes, you know, but the squad is so strong. Anyone coming in is going to be up to speed and right up for this game. Results probably didn't go for us yesterday. We've had a couple of weekends where results have gone for us. You know, with Southampton's late goal. But, you know, Kieran will have the lads fired up. They'll be under no illusions how big a game this is.
There'll be a lot of pressure on the lads today with the opportunity to go back into second with that extra game in hand. But these are the games the players want to play in, aren't they? This is why you play football, to play at the highest level.
Yeah, definitely, especially where they're so close in the league and it's literally a couple of points away from each other. So games like this, they've got to be up for it. And I believe that Kieran's made some good choices, some good team selection, but unfortunately on Tuesday, it was unfortunate they didn't get the win. But today, they can rectify that, and like you said, they've got a couple of games in hand, and we've got to utilise them.
And it's an opportunity, Adam, to take points off a rival who are also going for automatic promotion.
Yeah, and they've been on a terrible run. You know, probably coinciding with losing two of their best players, Hackney and Whittaker. I know Whittaker's on the bench today, but they'll be looking to rectify a real uneasy spell for them. You know, they've had a couple of bad defeats against teams they would have expected to win. So it's going to be a real high-pace, energy game today. But like you say, if we can take more 3 points off them, it sort of pushes them a bit further down. You know, look after ourselves. I know it's a cliche and it's an easy thing to say, but if we do that, you know, we should be okay. But it's a massive, massive game.
Absolutely. Well, after 2 matches postponed against Pompey already this season, Town made the trip for the 3rd time to Fratton Park to try and grab all 3 points. But unfortunately, we came away empty-handed.
Ipswich will be hoping it's 3rd time lucky, as after 2 previous postponements, Town finally look to complete this championship fixture against Portsmouth. Furlong is going to try and use the run of McAteer here, who's in behind, and he's cutting it back towards Hurst, and Hurst's shot is blocked away by Shaughnessy. Edge a few more yards on this near side, takes the throw. Gets it back from Pack, then it's forced forward towards Bishop. Here's Swift, 25 yards out, support from Jordan Williams inside the penalty area now. Williams on his right foot, gets the shot away. Nunez cross to this near side to take the corner, in-swinger this time, and it comes. Headed away at the front post, only as far as Dan Neal, who struck it first time from Neal. Back to Walton, Walton finding Furlong, who just gets away from the Ipswich right back. Matasiwa will look to challenge Ali, and Ali goes for goal, and Walton has to tip it over the crossbar. And it comes from the Australian, it's a deep one, and it's asked questions of the Ipswich defence, and it's headed home by Connor Shaughnessy. Now Jordan Williams has space to move into left side for the hosts. Ali into the box now, step over, up against Furlong. Plays it back, in comes the first time clip delivery from Dozell, and it's towards Pack, and it drops to Swift, and it drops to Swift again, it's clear off the line, and it's turned home by Colby Bishop. Here is Ali, 25 yards out, floating it forwards, and it's a big chance. Philogene up against Devlin. Breeze trying to move on that underlapping run. Mametti sends it in towards O'Shea, and O'Shea's heading towards goal.
Just
corner
one.
taken short to Philogene. Philogene trying to bend one. Schmidt palms it away. And the attention will have to quickly turn to Sunday's game against Middlesbrough. Ipswich still masters of their own destiny.
A disappointing night against Portsmouth in the Championship. An opportunity missed, but another opportunity is right around the corner. Danny, does that just show what the Championship is all about? You go and beat your local rivals, and then you're fighting against a team that are down at the bottom, scrapping for everything, and you go and lose again.
Yeah, it's definitely how the Championship started. It's one of the hardest leagues in the European in Europe, I believe. And to actually say at the start of the season who you think is going to be top three or who's going to be relegated, it's a toss of a coin, really. You don't know who's going to be where.
Yeah, Adam, how difficult are those games when you're coming up against a team that are down at the bottom? They have got an incredible run, by the way. Now they've beaten Middlesbrough, beaten Ipswich, and they got a great result yesterday. So just how tough are those games against those relegation sides?
Yeah, I mean, there's no easy game in the Championship. As Danny said, it's probably the most brutal league in Europe. You know, Saturday, Tuesday for virtually the whole season. So, and also they're scrapping for their lives. And the other thing to remember, Fratton Park is a hostile and a cauldron of an atmosphere to play in. You know, so they were right up for it. You know, let's be clear. You know, it was disappointing result, disappointing performance. But we need to put that behind us now, and that's really important. We put that behind us today, and if we get 3 points, that'll be forgotten, and we move on.
I guess when you're playing catch-up, we've got those games in hand. We've got to squeeze them in at some point. Is it quite tough to come off a game like we did against Norwich, the euphoria, the high, and then that's quickly put to bed because you've got to go and play on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they'll be dwelling over it. I think that obviously where it's a quick turnover, they can get over it fast and get a result today. And Kieran would have made sure of that, and the boys are they know what they're doing, and they've been in this position before last year, or the year before, sorry. So it's nothing new to them, so they've just got to get pushing and get a win today.
At this point of the season, Adam, it is that next game mentality that Kieran McKenna mentions all the time. And that's exactly what the boys have got to do today. It's another opportunity to go back into second and just cement our place in that second spot and hopefully join Coventry City in the Premier League.
Yeah, and Kieran's been, ever since he's come to the club, he never gets too high or never gets too low with a defeat. You know what I mean? He's very measured in his appraisals after games, you know. He'll definitely be disappointed with the result and the performance, but his focus straight after that game would have been on today. You know, it's going back to one of my earlier points, if we can look after ourselves, we should be okay. But it's an easier said than done task. But as I say, in Kieran, I think we've got a really measured, calm leader who will have all the boys up for this today.
And I guess at this point of the season, that's exactly what you need in the change room, a calm, collective head. And all the boys buy into Kieran McKenna's methods, and they probably work on it week in, week out on the training pitch. They know exactly what to do after a win or after a loss.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kieran's installed in the players. And you can see it. It's quite evident to see when they're playing and how Kieran comes across. Kieran's interviews, it's always been calm. He's never been too high. He's never been too low. He's always kept it neutral. And that's what this club needs at the moment. So yeah, just push on today. I'm excited.
I was chatting to Fabio Wardley earlier on. We were doing an interview for Town TV, and I was mentioning to him that he's now ranked #1 in the Ring magazine. And I said, do you look at the tables? Do you look at the rankings? He went, absolutely I do. But for players, do they look at the table? Do they look at the situation that they're in, Adam?
Yeah, I think they'll know exactly where they are and what's needed, 100%. You know, it's what, at the start of the season, we'd probably be happy to be in this position, you know what I mean, fighting for automatic promotion with these games left, you know. But yeah, no doubt, I mean, the thing with social media and everything now with players are on everything as well, if they choose to be. Yeah, it's everywhere. They'll be fully aware of where our league position and what's required.
But we enjoyed the victory against Norwich City so much that we thought we'd take a little turn back time. And on this day in 2009, Town got another victory against the Canaries, winning 3-2, featuring a very young Danny Gaines.
Klingon, who will take it. Good header coming in, and a super goal by David Mooney. Clearance by Summerball was blocked. Lee, Campo, Thatcher, Norris, now Kenyago, being policed by Doherty. That's a good ball if De Santos can get the touch, which he can. Here's Quinn! Equaliser! Alan Quinn celebrates in front of the South Stand as Ipswich pull the game level. Beautifully created, and he beat Marshall across the face of goal and into the far corner. It's 1-1. Szymanakowski, Kinago, Dos Santos, Lisby! Oh, that's a penalty, I think. It is a penalty kick. And so it's Gio De Santos who scored against Bristol City, against David Marshall. An hour gone. This could do it. It does. Gio De Santos sends Marshall the wrong way. Nice flick on there by Lisby, and Stead is onside. He came from behind. John Stead wins it for Ipswich. It's 3-1. For the third time in a row, Norwich have seen a lead squandered and are going to lose the East Anglian derby at Portman Road. Referee's given a penalty. A silly challenge by Alan Quinn on Alan Lee. And now Norwich have a lifeline. Klingon. It's in. And it's 3-2.
We were having a fantastic time just watching that back, picking up on some players that were in both sides. Alan Lee there, wearing the yellow of Norwich. How dare he? Danny, we were just watching that and we were looking at some of the players, Giovanni De Santos and even Campo. What were they like as teammates?
Mate, we've had some good dressing rooms. We've had some good dressing rooms, but those players was focused, fully focused, and you can see in that squad there the talent of Ivan Campo, Giovanni De Santos, Kevin Lisby. There's so many players. Remember John Stead. But yeah, just looking back at that, it's just like wow, nostalgia. It felt good to watch that. Yeah, it felt good watching that, and it felt even better watching Ipswich Town go to Norwich last week and get that victory. We've spoken about it on Matchday Live, but we've got the Canary Crusher here and Adam Tanner. So we'll just get your thoughts on that game. Where did you watch it? What was the atmosphere like in the Tanner household?
Yeah, I watched it at home. Yeah, really good. I thought it was a thoroughly professional performance. You know, we weathered the storm, and the lads at the back were outstanding, Dara and Jacob Greaves. You know, and then we got 2 clinical goals. I know the penalty. We'll just move on from that. You know, the decisions go for you, they go against you. I thought it was a penalty, but other people don't. But and then a good finish from George Hurst. But again, we weathered the storm second half. which you're always going to do in a local derby. You know, league positions go out the window. So I thought it was a very professional performance and resolute, and you know, set us up for the game on Tuesday. But yeah, overall, really impressed.
You could see the passion from everyone associated with the football club, from the staff, from the players on the pitch, and of course the fans. Just from your experience, what are those games like to play in?
If you're not ready for the occasion, it can be overwhelming. So you got to keep a level head. But when you're playing in those games, it's more of bragging rights. You know, the bragging rights of anger. So, and one for the fans as well. The fans love it. The fans actually come out for a day out. Don't watch football for the rest of the season, but they're here for that game because they know how important it is to the fans and the locals. So yeah, it's a good one.
Adam, how do you keep a lid on those emotions when you can sense it in the atmosphere, in the stadium? It's derby day, there's flares going off. How do you keep a lid on everything to make sure that you don't get a yellow card, like Danny did?
Yeah, no, it's about having that composure and that calm mind in a hostile environment. You know, that will set a lot of people out from the normal players. You know, going calm in the cauldron. And we had a couple of, as I say, I thought Dara was absolutely outstanding on last week. The penalty here, like I say, Jack definitely gets a touch on the ball and he follows through with the kick. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you can sort of say about Jack went down too easy. I don't think so. It's a penalty for me, and we take it.
Dara and Jacob Greaves headed absolutely everything. If they didn't wake up the next morning with a bit of a headache, then I don't know how that hasn't happened. But like you say, it was a solid performance all round, starting from the back.
Yeah, first half it was all over them. It was quite evident how the game was going to go from the first half. It was down to us to keep our composure in the second and just bring it down a bit, bring it back to reality, and make sure we've done the simple things right, which we've done. We weathered quite a few opportunities that Norwich did have, and we come out on top.
In that moment there with Jaden Philogee, how much of a cool head do you need in that moment, Danny, to be able to shush the crowd when you are playing in front of 30-odd thousand people and half of them don't like you?
Yeah, it is difficult. I remember going, Carroll Road ain't an easy place to go, especially as an Ipswich player. So fair play to him, he kept a cool head and slotted in nicely.
We spoke about keeping a cool head. One man that did his best to almost get sent off, Marcelino Nunez. He couldn't quite keep a lid on it, but we love to see the passion, we love to see the commitment. And I guess it just shows as well from Kieran's perspective that he wasn't afraid to take him off. And he probably explained it to Marcelino and said, look, we need you on the pitch, and if you're going to get sent off, it's going to cause us a few problems.
Yeah, and I think going back to one of the earlier points, that shows Kieran's calmness and composure in a real hostile atmosphere where, to be fair, yeah, he could have probably been sent off. And Kieran's made that decision, and I think obviously it was the right decision. You know, he's come on and he's got caught up in the atmosphere. You know, the one thing he did do, it put Norwich off their stride a bit. But again, going back to Kieran, that takes some, I wouldn't say bottle, but some calmness and professionalism to say, no, I'm not afraid to make a big decision. You know, he's going to get stick when he comes off, but I'm doing this for the best of the team. You know, he would have explained it to Nunez, you know, and after the game. He didn't seem too bothered, actually, did he?
He looked like he was having a great day out. All it was missing was him waving that Norwich corner flag somewhere. But, I mean, that would have taken some serious bottle to do something like that. George Hurst grabbed the second and it scored at a vital time as well. Just, it's been really, you know, as a forward player, sometimes his work goes unnoticed from fans and they just expect goals. But that is a big goal for him to score. He's on the bench this afternoon, though, but his confidence will be sky high after scoring a goal like that.
Oh, definitely, especially in the derby. Any goal's a good goal, but scoring in the derby just makes it a bit more special. But yeah, his confidence will be up. He does work hard off the ball, and that's one thing he gives us. He works hard. He's up there by himself. He's doing doggies. He's doing laps. And sometimes he takes up those work goes unnoticed sometimes. But as a striker, as myself, I see that in him. And he's a good player to have. He's a great player, but unfortunately he's on the bench today. But I would have liked to have seen him on.
We spoke about the bragging rights that afternoon. I'm sure the Ipswich Town faithful had a fantastic afternoon in the sunshine. Just what does it mean for football fans to get a win over their rivals, especially Norwich City?
It's huge, you know what I mean? Especially after the run we've had against them, the amount of years that we haven't been able to beat them, and then to do the double over them this season's been brilliant. You know, I think when the fixture list comes out every season when we're in the same league, that'll be the one that most fans look at. you know, and that will be the one they focus on. It is huge, you know, for the local communities. I know there's a bit of distance between the two cities and towns, but, you know, it is bragging rights, as Danny said. And fortunately, we've come out on top in both occasions this year.
The fans have turned up in their thousands, as expected here at Portman Road. And earlier on, we sent Dave Vant round the fan zone to get their thoughts ahead of today's game.
Yes, Curly, we're at the coach arrival experience right now. What a game this is. Middlesbrough versus Town here at Portman Road. One thing that's incredible about being here on a match day is the coach arrival experience. And we've got all the boys and girls with us here just behind the camera now, and we want to find out their favourite player and the score prediction today. Let's go. Favourite player and score prediction.
My favourite player is Wes Burns, and I think it's going to be 2-1 to Ipswich.
Fantastic.
Jaden Philogene, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Ipswich.
Fantastic.
Nunez and 3-1.
Love that, thank you.
Walton 2-1.
Here we go.
My favourite player is Leaf, and I think the score's going to be 2-1 to the Town.
Fantastic. Upper Talon.
Jaden Philogene and 2-0.
Fantastic.
Alex Palmer and 2-1 Ipswich.
Upper Talon.
My favourite player is Nunez, and I think it's going to be 3-1 Ipswich.
Oh, what game?
Jack Clark and 3-1 Ipswich.
Brilliant.
Mehmeti and 3-1 Ipswich.
Superb.
Wes Burns 2-0. Wes Burns and 2-1.
Fantastic. Favourite player score prediction?
Marcelina.
Yeah, score?
3-2.
3-2. What game that would be?
Mehmeti 2-1.
Yeah. Here we go.
Dara O'Shea 2-1.
Fantastic.
Nunez 2-1.
Fantastic. Favourite player? Okay, and which of the score's going to be? What number do you think it is? 2. Love it. 2. Here we go.
Cash 5-0.
5-0. That would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Nunez 2-1.
Fantastic.
Jack Clark 2-1 to Ipswich.
Brilliant. Love it.
Leaf Davis.
Yeah. Score?
It's 7-0.
7-0. Just 7-0. Come on, the Town.
Walton 3 to Ipswich.
Fantastic.
Wes Burns 3-1.
3-1. Here we go.
Jaden Philogene and 6 or 7-0.
6 or 7.
Nunez 2-0.
Here we go.
Philogene 3-1.
Fantastic.
Philogene and 2-1.
Brilliant stuff.
Jaden Philogene and 2-1.
Only a few more to go now.
Wes Burns and 2-1.
Here we go.
Ivan Azon 2-1 Town.
Fantastic.
1-0 George Hurst.
1-0. Come past you. You want to go?
2-1.
Here we go.
1-0 Town.
Here we go. Fantastic. When of them scores would just be incredible. 1-1 together here, please, guys. Blue May! Curly, back to you in the gantry. Upper Town.
Dave Vant looking very sharp in his shades in the sunshine. Right, before we look at today's game, let's go back to the Riverside in 2023, where Town travelled to the Borough and came home with 3 points in the bag.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Riverside Stadium, where its friends reunited. Today, Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick will face each other from opposing dugouts for the first time as Ipswich prepare to do battle with Middlesbrough. Just trying to compare it to the last time Ipswich were in the North East, that trip to Sunderland on the opening day of the season. It was a very different atmosphere indeed, as Wes Burns now will look to attack down the Ipswich right. Feels for a penalty from handball, but it's deflected in, is it? Colin Chaplin with the hit from the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area. It's another clean strike from Chaplin. 6'4" Matt Crooks, an aerial threat. It's in towards Crook and it's saved by Hladky.
And he's in a terrific position to save it. He made it look easy.
This might open up for Ipswich Town here. It's Hutchinson through on
son.
goal. Omari Hutchinson! Yes. Cool as you like. He played over the allocated 5 minutes of added time, and the away end erupts. Ipswich Town have won at the Riverside for the first time since August 2010. Another 3 points for the Blues. Ipswich have also kept a clean sheet. And at full time here at the Riverside, it's finished. Middlesbrough 0, Ipswich Town 2.
A great atmosphere at the Riverside there, and the atmosphere here at Portman Road is certainly starting the build. The music's been cranked up, the fans are flooding through the turnstiles. Adam, what kind of game do you expect to see today against this Middlesbrough side, who are also chasing automatic promotion?
I expect to see a high energy attacking game. I think they need to come out. A draw is probably not good enough for them, so they're gonna want to come out and attack us, which probably suits our style. Yeah, high energy. I think it's vital that we make a fast start, you know, and get at them and use our attacking power, the front four, And we'll probably be having to utilise our bench again. I mean, look at our bench; it's so strong, and Kieran likes to sort of change it up midway through the second half. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to a good, open, high, top quality game.
Dara O'Shea's been speaking in his post-match of the Pompey game about the pressure within. There's obviously always a lot of noise outside of the changing room, the social media, the TV stations. At Sky here today, they know how big this game is. There sort of feels like there's an expectation that Ipswich are going to get that second spot. As players, how do you block that out? Is it possible to do that?
They've put themselves in this position. So all eyes are going to be on us because of what we've done over the last 3 years. So pressure's got to come with that. And it's down to the players to keep focused, which they have done, in all fairness. So they've just got to go out there and make sure from early for the first 15 to 20 minutes is vital.
There's so much in the Championship that happens year on year, but this season especially, it feels like there's so much up for grabs. Congratulations to Coventry for grabbing their space, but we can still catch them and sort of win the title as well. Has it always been this competitive? Has it come as a surprise how many teams are up there this season?
Not to me, no. The Championship or the old First Division, you know what I mean? It's always been competitive. It's, you know, you've got a few extra teams in it compared to the Premier League, so it's a brutal schedule, and it's Saturday, Tuesday, and a lot of big teams. You know, if we run through the Championship, there's a lot of ex-Premier League clubs in there, big clubs. You know what I mean? So it's no surprise to me. But Coventry have done, you know, they've been the most consistent. We've beaten them twice comfortably. You know, we here probably wasn't a 3-0, but the away game we beat them comfortably. So credit to them. You know, they've shown the consistency that we maybe haven't. But again, it's in our hands. You know, a win today is massive because not only does it keep us up there, but pushes Middlesbrough a bit further away.
We do have that squad that is brilliant. You know, we've got 2 starting 11s essentially that can compete at the highest level in this Championship season. How much can that help us get over the line in these final few games of the season?
Well, in terms of players-wise, everyone's working for their places. So they know 2 or 3 bad games or average games could get them swapped out. So it keeps everybody on their toes and the competition is healthy. And you can see by looking at the boys that they've all got that togetherness. So if one can't pull their weight, the other one will. So that's what Kieran's has a tough choice in making decisions. Like today, he's made 3 changes. So it just shows you the depth of the squad.
At this point of the season, it's a really good point that Danny makes there, that the players have to be all in it together, because if there's one person that's a little bit disappointed that they're not playing, it can have a massive effect. But you don't see that with this Ipswich Town squad. They all come in. Ivan Athon is up front today. George Hurst is on the bench. You know, they're flipping and flopping week in, week out at times. You have to have that right mentality, don't you?
Yeah, I think football's changed over the last few years, and it's definitely a squad game. You don't, you know, back probably definitely in my era, maybe a bit with Danny's, it was you knew you started 11 most week and the subs. You know, it's a squad game. The squads are big. Every player out there, I mean, it's a privilege to play for this football club. You know what I mean? So there'll be all these players out there who appreciate they're at a really good football club and fighting for honours at the right end of the table. And I'm sure they'll, you know, like you're referencing George Hurst, I'm sure he'll be the first one to cheer if Azon scores a goal today. And similarly, like we say with Kipre, if Greaves clears one off the line.
We've only got a handful of games left. And I said this to Ann and Lee last time I was on. None of our games are 3 p.m. We've got lunchtime kickoffs and 7:45s. As ex-pros, what would you be like with these early starts?
I'll be used to it. I mean, over the last couple of years, they've been used to having night kickoffs, late afternoons, early afternoons. So I don't think that's going to play much of effect with the boys.
OK, right, let's have a look at the Ipswich Town starting 11, taking on Middlesbrough in the Sky Bet Championship. Leif Davis returns to the Town starting 11. Christian Walton in goal. We've got Dara O'Shea and Jacob Greaves lining up the central defence. Azor Matasiwa is partnered with Jack Taylor, and we have Dan Neil available off the bench. Ivan Athon, as I said, leads the line for Ipswich Town. Chuba Akpon and George Hurst are also amongst the substitutes. Sort of said it there, Adam, we've got 2 starting 11s, so when we see a team like that, we can understand why Kieran's done it. But what are your initial thoughts of the Ipswich Town starting 11 today?
Yeah, not too many surprises, really. We know Kieran very rarely plays the same 11. We know that, you know, and there's that bone of contention with that, but that's the way he's been all season. So there was going to be changes. Yeah, you know, with McAteer on the right, Nunes again in the 10 and Philogene preferred on the left. Now Philogene's done his best work at home this season. He scored, I know he scored last week and a penalty away, but I think the majority of his goals have been at home. You know, they'll be really wary of him. There's not, you look through that team, there's arguments for all of them to start anyway. So, you know, Kieran's very blessed in that department.
I know James Anadakis mentioned it on the last Matchday Live. Congratulations to Leif Davis with the birth of his child. He's back in the starting 11 today. He's probably had a few sleepless nights, but hopefully he's fired up and ready to go. A massive boost down that left-hand side, Danny.
I love him. I absolutely love him. Over the last 5-6 years, he's been consistent. I'll call him Mr. Consistent. I'll call him the James Milner of Ipswich. And he's been a solid player for us for many years. And obviously, we spoke about Philogene. He had a bit of an injury earlier on in the season, but now he's back and to full fitness. So it's good that he's back and he's playing at home where he loves.
Yeah, we've seen Jayden Philogene score those goals where he cuts in on that left-hand side and it either nestles in the bottom right, top bins, whatever happens, he scores goals. Left foot, right foot. You feel like today that this could be the game, something special. We all remember Sarmiento and the moments. If we can create a big moment today with someone like Jayden, it's going to set us in good stead for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, Jayden's got that ability, and I think, you know, I don't know the lad, but looking at him, I don't think he looks quite relaxed. He doesn't think this big atmosphere won't bother him. You know, he's got so much natural ability, it's frightening, you know, and they'll be well aware of his threat, as they will. Look, they know this is a really tough game for them, Borough. They'll be wary of him and they'll be wary of others and our bench. You know, make no boat about it. They'll be looking at our starting 11 and thinking, right, how can we stop the front four?
We mentioned Dara O'Shea and Jacob Greaves against Norwich, heading absolutely anything. I want to give a special mention to Jacob Greaves because, again, one of those players that's probably at times not played as much football as he wanted. He's waited, he's bided his time. Cedric Kipre's been brilliant, but he's came in and he's been absolutely superb and rightfully keeps his spot.
Yeah, definitely. He's having a great season. Maybe he should have been playing more, or he would like to play more often this season, but that's how football goes, you know. Like we were saying again, it's a big squad and everyone needs to get game time. But both of them partnerships, you wouldn't think they've been together all season, the way they've been playing. They've been unbelievable for us. So it's been solid at the back.
It is a big squad indeed, and we can have a look at who is on the bench for today's game against Middlesbrough in the Championship. Full of quality. I forgot about Anis Mehmeti was on there as well, who's come in and been an absolute star. Jack Clark, who's Town's top goal scorer, can't get in. So, Adam, the strength, the depth, it's all there, and we're covered with all bases.
Yeah, I mean, there's players there that walk into most Championship sides. I mean, Jack Clark played a sub role at the beginning of the season, but the impact he's had overall for the whole season has been phenomenal. You know, Mehmeti's come in and hit the ground running. You know, George Hurst, as I say, gives you that focal point. As Danny said, a lot of his work is unselfish, and he probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. But every player would appreciate him. Kipre's been outstanding. You know, there's arguments for all of them. So it's a really lucky position to be in, and Kieran's probably understands he's very lucky to have this squad.
Similar with the Jacob Greaves situation, Ben Johnson, another one who, you know, has been brilliant. When he's come in, he stepped in for Leaf and he even picked up a goal. So, you know, he's been waiting for his chance, and when he has come on, he's delivered.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a bad game since I've seen him. So he's been unbelievable, and he's full circle of that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he understands, and when he's called upon, he'll do the job.
Sinjawala Egley has come into the club. Big money, big player, big talent, big prospect. It's difficult for a player to come overseas and sort of find their feet. He's had bits and bobs where he's looked good, he's come out of the team, but how difficult is it for a player to settle from a new country coming into a club as massive as Ipswich?
I think it is very difficult. You know, we've got to understand he's still a very young lad. He's changed of culture, change of country. You know, as you said, he's shown flashes. I don't think we're going to see the best of him until maybe next season or even the season after. It's probably opened his eyes up how hard and tough this league is, and the pace and everything. And similar to Matasiwa, when the first couple of games, I don't think he knew what hit him. You know, this league is tough.
Well, I've just seen Glenn Wheeler doing his stretching. He's ready for the game. He is pumped up. and he's got all the information on today's visitors, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, thanks, Curly. It's a big one, this, isn't it? Well, Borough boss Kim Hellberg has made 2 changes to the 11 that started last weekend's shock home defeat against Portsmouth, which saw Connor Chaplin score a last-gasp 97th winner for the visitors. As well as altering the starting lineup, Hellberg switches formation from 4-4-2 to 3-5-2, with Sol Bryn, who saved a penalty in the reverse fixture, starting in goal behind the 3 centre-backs of Luke Ayling, Adilson Malander and skipper Dale Fry. In midfield, the established partnership of Aidan Morris and Alan Brown will be joined by Alex Gilbert, who will play just behind Tommy Conway and David Strelec. Amongst the substitutes is a former Ipswich cult hero, as Jeremy Sarmiento, who scored 4 goals for Town, including a rather famous one here against Southampton during the 2023-24 promotion campaign, returns to Portman Road. Morgan Whittaker has also recovered from an ankle injury to be named on the bench. Borough's top scorer has 3 goals in 5 career appearances against the Blues. Riley McGree drops out of the Matchday squad entirely after picking up a knock in training, whilst Hayden Hackney remains unavailable due to a calf issue.
Brilliant work, as always, Glenn. Right, I can see you in my eye line. We're here at Portman Road. It's the penultimate home game of the season. So what has been your favourite home game so far this season?
Well, I think this one has the potential to be right up there. And excluding the obvious, of course, beating that lot up the road, I think that Friday night win under the lights early in the season against Sheffield United, that was pulsating. Jayden Philogene hat-trick, of course, with some special goals. That was a good night. Let's hope it's a good afternoon here.
Absolutely, we echo that 100%. Right, Leif Davis is back in the starting 11, and as he arrived, Jacob Henderson from Town TV caught up with him.
Lee, firstly, congratulations. How are things?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Little one's good. Missus is on the mend, which is the main thing. Long few days in hospital, but main thing, we're out now. Family's well, so focused on the game now.
Yeah, and you'll be looking forward to getting back out there.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we had a good win against Norwich, which was the best feeling of the weekend, as well as my little girl being born. And yeah, obviously missed the other night, which I was disappointed, but my family's before anything. I always have to make sure they're all right, but nah, I'm buzzing to get back out there in front of the fans today, and hopefully we can put on a show.
What are your thoughts on today's game? What are going to be the key battles across the pitch?
Yeah, it's going to be an intense game. We've got great players as well. We've got good players. It's going to be a good game. You'll see it out there. 2 top teams going at it, and we'll see who wants it more at the end of the game.
Is this another one where we need Portman Road at its best?
Yeah, 100%. It's always at its best as well. Can't fault the fans enough for the time I've been here as well. The fans have been incredible, and they always have been. So yeah, I think today is a big one for us, for them to come behind the whole game. So yeah, please be out there with what it is you always are, and yeah, we'll try and do everything we can to get the 3 points.
Good luck, mate.
Great to have Leif Davis back in the starting lineup today for the game against Middlesbrough in the Championship. A lot is at stake. 3 points, lads, is massive. What do you think the score is going to be, Adam? I can see you looking at me there. You knew what was coming. How do you see it playing out?
I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be a really top quality game, but I'm going for a 2-1 victory for us.
Danny?
I think we've got one more goal in us, I think 3-1.
One more goal in us, 3-1 Danny, 2-1 Adam. That is going to be an exciting game if that happens. Right, £10 match passes are available for international supporters in selected regions, so make sure you go and grab them, because on commentary we have got the brilliant Ian Westlake and Glenn Wheeler. We are back here for Matchday Live on Wednesday as Town travel to Charlton Athletic. James Anadakis will be your host. A big thank you to you guys for joining us. It's always a pleasure. For you, the fans, and of course our sponsors, Fleximize. For those of you watching the game, me and Danny will be back here at half-time. We'll see you then. Come on, you Blues.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just lending passion and enthusiasm.